Yo, what's good? Your 413 here back in the day, and today, guys, I'm going to be going over all of the exclusive Accolade cards, as well as a few honorable mentions, as because there are a few cars out there that you can get from Accolades that are very, very expensive, and you definitely don't want to spend your hard-earned credits on these, especially with one of them costing well over 10 million credits. So anyway, though, let's go ahead and start off with our exclusive cars. Now, there are 15 exclusive Accolade cards here in Forza Horizon 5. Now, there are 5 of them in particular that are exclusive just to Accolades. That is right. There are 5 that are exclusive just to Accolades. So the first one, what we're going to do is we're going to head over here to Hall of Fame. Now, most of you guys have probably hit Hall of Fame already, but if you have not, essentially you need to get to a certain point after you have unlocked all of the different festivals. Now, you don't even have to use all of them. You just have to get to the point where you could unlock them, and then after that, you get entered into the Hall of Fame. Once in here, you'll have a accolade for reaching level 100, which should be right here, and that is the Aston Martin Vantage GT12. After that, what we have is in the skills section for completing 1 million skill score on a single skill chain, you unlock the 2019 Chevrolet Corvette ZR1. And now this is a pretty damn good car. If I remember correctly, this thing's got like 700 horsepower. It's insane. Absolutely insane. And this is the only way to get your hands on it, is to get a million skill score in a single chain, which means that you need to get either a skill song at level 10 and get that up to 100,000, or get 200,000 with a regular ×5 multiplayer. There are a few cars that also have a car mastery reward that gets you up to a 7 times mastery skill, so that might be able to get you down a little bit, make the challenge a little bit easier if you are struggling. And after that, we head back over to the Hall of Fame, where you can pick up the Lamborghini Gallardo for purchasing all 7 player houses. Now, this means that this is a very, very expensive and hard to get hands on car, as all the player houses, I think, cost somewhere in the range of 8 to 10 million credits. It is quite a bit of money, but once you do go ahead and get those, you will unlock this vehicle right here, the 2004 Lamborghini Gallardo Superleggera. It's not a 2004, it's like a 2007. I can't remember what year it is exactly, but you all know what I'm talking about. Then finally, our last 2 exclusive cars are actually here in stories, and they are both found during the Vocho story. Now, this is a very important story, and some of you guys have even been asking me, how do I unlock the welcome pack? Because some players have had like struggles with the welcome pack, and what it is, you get to a point in the game, and it makes you pick one of 2 different stories. And if you go south, that is the first mission of Vocho. And if you go north, I'm not entirely sure which one that is, but you have to start the first mission of Vocho in order for the welcome pack to actually trigger for some reason. I don't know what's going on with it, but that does seem to be the case. Some people have been claiming that once they did the Vocho mission, the welcome pack all of a sudden launched in, they had all their welcome cars, they got their free house, etc., etc. But coming in here with our first car that we get is the Safe Hands car, which is you simply have to complete either one of the final 2 challenges of the Vocho story. Now, there is technically a final challenge, and this is a reward for getting into the Hall of Fame. So now technically I could go and get this one. But what you receive is the Volkswagen Beetle. And then after that, you can also receive the Volkswagen Beetle Forza Edition. After you have reached the Hall of Fame, you can go back and 3-star the final mission, and then 3-star every other single mission, and you will receive the Volkswagen Beetle Forza Edition. These are the only ways that you can get these 5 cars. Now let's talk about some of the other exclusives. Now these ones are wheel spin exclusives, so you can pick these up in different ways. Starting things off, we have the Expeditions, and one of the ones that you can pick up right here is the BAC Mono for simply completing the Tulum Expedition. And again, this car is also a wheel spin exclusive, so like the next 10 of these cars, these are all available via wheel spin. After that, we move on over to the Hall of Fame, where for reaching level 50, you can pick up the Ferrari Challenge 360 Stradale. Then going back to stories in the El Camino mission, you can actually pick up a Ferrari GTC4 Lusso for 3-starring all the chapters of El Camino. What this means, again, this is going to have one of those final challenges when you reach your Hall of Fame status. And if you are able to 3-star every other challenge that is in there plus your Hall of Fame one, then you will be able to receive this car. And unfortunately, some of these cars are actually online limited. They are wheel spins, so you can pick them up in other alternative methods, but there are a few cars that are technically a wheel spin exclusive, but also an Accolade exclusive that you can only pick up from participating in online activities. And the first one of these is the Funco F9. Now, you have to complete 3 rounds in all 5 of the different arcade themes, and as you guys can see, right now, looking at my accolades board, there are not a lot of accolades in this one that I've actually done all that many of. Now, I'm wondering exactly what are our arcade themes. Are these going to be like the playground games? Is that what these are? I'm not entirely sure. I do remember they're talking about arcade being able to like hit some llamas, some like pinatas. I'm not exactly sure what all that is, but basically you have to complete all 3 rounds in all 5 of their Horizon arcade themes. That's how you get this car, or you get lucky enough and pick it up in a wheel spin. Also, there's an RC car that is Forza branded of the Funko F9 available right now at Walmart. This is not sponsored, but I actually just saw it today. Then if we move on over to the Eliminator, you can pick up the Hoonigan Gymkhana 10 Ford Focus. Now again, this one is another online exclusive, and you have to secure 5 drops in a single game, which is quite a bit. That is a bit of a challenge. Now, some of the drops, aren't necessarily going to be an upgrade, so it is possible, and that could make things easier by essentially downgrading your vehicle to get more drops. That is one thing that you could possibly do. But most people aren't going to want to do that because there are other cars that you can unlock throughout this challenge for winning games, playing more games, etc., etc. But yeah, 5 drops in a single game is a fairly tough project. And then we get into the stories again, and we head over to Born Fast, which is unlocked during the racing festival playlist, or not the racing one, the street racing festival playlist it is. And essentially we have another one of these stories. It's called the Series 7. Now, I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm going to assume based on off of other stories that this is going to be another one of those complete all the chapters essentially. So once you go ahead and you complete all the chapters, including any ones that are unlocked via the Hall of Fame, and you get 3 stars or win every single race, you'll be able to pick up a Jaguar F-Type Project 7. Moving on over to Creative, which again, this one might almost be construed as being an online exclusive. If you complete the Super 7 for the first time, then you will actually be able to pick up the Mazda RX7 Savannah. Now, the thing about this car is that it's very, very special, as it's one of the few car mastery cars, and it's probably one of the hardest ones to get. Now, actually, this could make it one of the easiest if you have access to online, because you can use this car mastery to unlock the Hoonigan Torque Stallion, which is an absolutely amazing drift car and considered to be one of the rarest car mastery cars currently available, as all the other ones are simply available for purchase. This is the only one that has any exclusivity to it, which may require a wheel spin or unlocking it via the the Super 7 Accolade event. Then we head back over to stories, and for defeating Furzuto after supporting him in the Luchador story, where basically you are a car wrestler, you can pick up the MG Metro 6R4. And then as well as another option for the end of this one, if you support El Campeon, then you can pick up the Peugeot 205 Turbo 16. And our last wheel spin / Accolade exclusive that is available is the Toyota Celica GT4 ST205 in the Welcome to Mexico Accolade series. And all you have to do is simply play a Horizon arcade event. If you do so, you will unlock this car, and this is currently another one of your rare wheel spin exclusives, so definitely worth getting your hands on. Now, since these cars are actually purchasable, I decided I'm going to show you these are the honorable mentions. So if you don't want to know about these ones, you don't really have to go through it. But these are essentially very expensive cars, all totaling at least 300 or 400K, that are also available through accolades. And starting things off, you have the Aston Martin Vulcan AMR Pro. This is in the Hall of Fame accolade, and it is for reaching level 125. Moving on down the line, we have the Auto Union Type D, which is also a Hall of Fame accolade, and you can get this for 3-starring all of the final events. Now, that is a fairly large challenge to go ahead and do, although I'm pretty sure that these all have to do with your stories, or this is going to have to do with, for example, like the Colossus, the Titan, the Goliath. Not entirely sure which ones these have to do with. I'm assuming that it is going to be fairly self-explanatory once we get to that point. But you can pick up the Auto Union Type D, which is a $15 million car. So this is a very, very expensive car. So definitely don't waste your money on one of these, as you will be getting this absolutely free if you continue to play the game. I mean, honestly, many people have probably already unlocked this car through accolades. So definitely worth saving your hard-earned credits for this one. Then we have an online exclusive car in the form of the Bugatti Veyron, which is simply to play 20 games of the Eliminator. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, sometimes that Eliminator can be such a drag for me. So honestly, I might actually buy this instead of playing the Eliminator, because whew, it can go on and on and on. In fact, I was actually in an Eliminator match, and it glitched out on me. It glitched out in like the final showcase. Like, I didn't see a single car the entire game, or I saw like a couple car drops, and that was about it. And finally in the final showdown, like one car showed up and like was able to take me down, because he was like in a level 10 car, and here I am in, you know, like a little Audi or something like that. It wasn't fair, and it took like 20 or 30 minutes. Something weird happened. I don't know what was going on, but for playing 20 games, you can pick up a Bugatti Veyorn. So if you are a big Eliminator fan, you probably already got one of these. But yeah, you can pick one of these up absolutely free. Now, this one's a bit of a shock, because I actually get a lot of questions about this car. And in the Expedition section for the Baja, if you simply complete the Baja Expedition, you can unlock the Liberty Design F-150 Pre-Runner. Now, this one is under that 300,000 threshold that I was talking about, but the main reason I included this one is I get a lot of questions, actually. How do I unlock the F-150 Pre-Runner? How do I unlock the F-150 Pre-Runner? And you do this, or you can simply come here into the auto show and buy it for 250,000 credits. Really, it's not too big of a deal. It's absolutely, it's affordable. It's not cheap, but it's affordable for sure. Then we have a creative car in the tuning section, and if you spend 2 million credits on upgrades, you will receive a free Ford GT worth 400,000 credits. I spend so much money on tuning upgrades, and if you're like me, download a bunch of tunes, or you make your own tunes and all that sort of stuff, you are definitely going to go through that 2 million credits very, very quickly. So it is well worth not spending any extra money on a Ford GT. Then we move on over to stories, where you can pick up the Ford M Sport Fiesta. Now, this is for completing all of the chapters of the Luchador events. So if you go ahead and complete all those, there is also a Hall of Fame requirement at the end, so you have to go ahead and complete that. You'll get this M Sport Fiesta, which is a really dope car. These things are super quick and so much fun to drive. I was kind of sad when I found out that we were losing the Hoonigan Fiesta that was in Forza Horizon 4, but I'm so glad that we were able to actually keep this. And that's 500,000 credits absolutely free. Honestly, not too bad at all. Staying with stories, but moving on to our V10 event, if you complete all chapters, again, exactly like you did for the Lucha event, you'll receive a Koenigsegg Jesko, or Jesko, however you want to pronounce it. I'm not entirely sure, but if you complete all the chapters, you'll receive this $2.8 million car absolutely free, which is not too bad, and it is quite a looker too, if I do say so myself. Can't wait to get one of these. Need to go ahead and do that V10 event, but I'm not entirely sure how I unlock that. I've still got a couple of different story modes that I still got to go through, but once I do, that is going to be sitting nice and pretty in my garage, and I will have got it absolutely free. And sticking with Koenigsegg, we have the Koenigsegg Regera, which can be picked up through the Hall of Fame event by completing all of the Hall of Fame accolades. Now, that is a big, big achievement. That might take quite a while, as basically you have to 100% all of Horizon 5 in order to get this Koenigsegg Regera, which is worth 1.9 million credits. Although, actually, why am I saying it's 1.9 on my map? It says 2 million right here. Maybe they changed the price on me overnight somehow. But for some reason I had 1.9 listed, but it's 2 million credits. So that's a pretty good chunk of change, but again, like that car. Oh wait, I know why I'm on the Regera. You want the Regera, which is 1.9 million. That I fixed myself. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I feel dumb. But yeah, you'll be able to pick up this car absolutely free if you essentially 100% the game and complete all of the Hall of Fame accolades. Moving on to online again, if you complete the Eliminator and eliminate 2 opponents in the same game, you can pick up a Lamborghini Aventador SV. Now, I'm not a big Eliminator fan, so I'll probably just end up buying this on my own, because as well, like for Lamborghini, there is also a car mastery, or not car mastery, what do you call it? A car collection reward. There's a special car at the very end of this. I won't spoil that. I'll put that in another video once I go ahead and get that unlocked myself. But yeah, once you go ahead and do that, you can pick up this beautiful piece of machinery. Moving on to speed traps, if you 2-star every single one of the speed traps in Forza Horizon 5, you can pick up the LFA and save yourself 500,000 credits, which is not a bad deal at all. And honestly, this car sounds so good. I love the LFA so much. Really, really do. Then we move on into road racing, and if you win every single road race event, you can pick up a Lola T70, which is worth 850,000 credits. This is an awesome little sports car. It's an awesome little race car. It is definitely going to put in the finest of work for you once you unlock it. But I would definitely save my money because it's not exactly... It's a very competitive car, but also at the same time for me, it's not really that big looker car that I really like myself, but I know that a lot of people enjoy these Lolas, and you get one absolutely free for just winning every single road race event, which I do definitely plan on doing. But then as well, we move right on next door to Lotus, and you can pick up the Lotus Evija for playing 20 Horizon arcade events for at least 1 round. So if you plan on liking a lot of arcade and all that sort of stuff, you'll definitely be able to get one of these absolutely free. I think I've only played 1 arcade event, so 1 down, 19 more to go. And sticking with online accolades, you can pick up the Porsche 918 Spider for securing a grand total of 50 drops in the Eliminator, which this car is worth 850,000 credits. However, though, I will also mention this. You may not need to even go ahead and pick up this car, especially if you are playing right now. Today is November the 16th, in honor of the 20 years of Xbox. Every single player of Horizon 5 has been gifted a Porsche 918 Spider. So you can go ahead and pick this up right now with a special livery in your message center. So go ahead and do that. You have 30 days to do it. After 30 days, sometimes they stick around, sometimes they don't. Typically they don't. So make sure to go ahead and pick it up as soon as possible. Then we get into a car that has actually kind of hurt my feelings a little bit, and that is the Festival Playlist Accolade. You can actually pick up a Shelby Datytona Coupe, the most expensive car in the game, for completing 100 Festival Playlist activities. Now, you know me, every single weekend I'm out here grinding those Festival Playlists every single Saturday. And honestly, I can easily complete 20 of them every single time, which means that in 5 weeks, I could simply have this car absolutely free, and I wasted my beautiful token, and I tried to get rid of this car because I knew this was coming, and unfortunately, if you bought this with a token, you cannot sell it. It is yours to keep forever. So, I can already see it now. In a couple of weeks, when players start picking these up through the accolades, they are going to be worth almost nothing in the auction house, which kinda sucks a little bit. Then finally we get to our last honorable mention, which is the TVR Cerebera Speed 12. Now this is a Hall of Fame achievement, and you reach it by hitting level 175 in the game. Now this is worth 500,000 credits, so it's a nice little reward for hitting level 175, but 175 is quite high. I'm surprised we weren't getting something just a little bit nicer in my opinion. Might have been just a little nicer if we would have got something just a tad better. So anyway, though, that's where we're going to wrap things up for today. If you guys want to, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at twitter.com/Griffin13 and Instagram.com/Griffin13. And if you guys like this video, go make sure to hit that like button down below for us, because you already know your support is so greatly appreciated. And make sure to subscribe when videos come out all the time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out.